Hello everybody and welcome to Improve with Apollo episode number 17. I'm starting to get over my sickness just a little bit at this point of time, but I'm still a little bit clogged up, so bear with me today because when I make these videos I talk a lot and that may be a bit more difficult today. I may not be able to breathe as easy as normal, but we'll see how things go within this episode. Hope you've been keeping all right as well, back at home or back wherever you are at work, maybe watching this. And I hope that you watched the David Kim interview that I put up the other day. It was a great interview. David Kim is an amazing person that doesn't quite get the credit he deserves from the community, but he's an amazing guy. It's an amazing interview. Definitely go check it out on my channel. It's somewhere close. Only uploaded it 2 days ago, so go find that. But today, right now, it's time to learn some more StarCraft 2, to continue our improvement within StarCraft 2. And today, it's a Terran player. We're going to be helping out a Terran player. And our last couple of Terran episodes have actually been quite high up. They've been diamond level. So we're going to jump down a little bit, and we're going to focus more on some basic concepts. And we're going down to Silver League today with a guy called Cristian. Let me go ahead and show you his email and introduce him. Here's Cristian, 31 years old, from Denmark, and is a Silver League Terran player. Here's a description on how I'm going to help him out today, and thanks a million for your fantastic videos. You are indeed amazing. Thank you, Cristian, for sending your email today, and I'm going to try and help you as much as I can. Alright, so the best example... Oh, no, sorry. I have a problem against Protoss early aggression. The best example is the 4-gate, but I've also seen aggressive plays with Immortals thrown into the mix. Whatever the case, I get marched upon with a massive force, and with their pylon, they can just keep on reinforcing. Every time I meet this, I lost the game around the 11-minute mark, so my Protoss win-loss ratio is in need of some attention. That's why I'm here. I have attached a few replays showcasing me struggling against this. I hope you can provide some tips. Thanks a million. Thank you once again, Cristian, for sending your replay and email today. And if anyone else wants to, get their chance to come on the show, please also email. It's improvewithapollo@gmail.com. There's a little description or a little few words in the description box below which will take you and show you how to submit your applications. Alright, so back onto this. A lot of emails that I was looking through today when I was getting ready to build a Improve with Apollo with a Terran player, a lot of them were around, especially the lower leagues, a lot of them were around early aggression from Protoss. Because in Heart of the Swarm, it's changed a little bit now. It's not so much that, that there's new unit, or I guess there is a new unit, but not so much new structures and so on and so on. It's more that these builds have really started to shine out. What build do we very often see from Protoss players? It's a double gas build, which can open up with everything and anything. And then going over to new unit, the Oracle comes out a lot because the Dark Shrine's been made cheaper. That can come out a lot. Blink play with a Mothership Core can come out a lot, and Gateway Pressure with a Mothership Core can come out a lot. So there's a lot of different builds that Protoss can use early on to try to punish a Terran player who goes for a 1 barracks command center or command center first. This is kind of general trends that we're seeing in Heart of the Swarm at the moment. For example, how many times have you seen 1 barracks command center or command center first in pro games? Not that often, and when they do, the Protoss player, if he can scout it early, will absolutely try to do something about it because they do have a lot of options in Heart of the Swarm. And I want to try and go through these with you today, Cristian, and with everyone else, to try and look and how do we deal with this early aggression. We're going to have a lot of emphasis on scouting. What times do we scout? What do we scout for? Not such super specific things because you are in Silver League, but big chunky things like, is there a Nexus on his natural or not? Is there extra gateways coming down or not before the natural? Because if extra production comes down before the natural is taken, the second base of the Protoss player, something's wrong. So these are the kind of things that we're going to be looking at within your game today. And I don't want to keep talking without jumping in any longer. Let's jump into your game and let's see what I can do for you today. Alright, so we're going to play through your vision. We'll have the production tab off. And I'm just going to go through everything that I see that I, want to discuss with you and what maybe you can improve on and hopefully give you those tips, Cristian. I did go through all 3 of your replays, and I thought this one would be the best to display what I want to put across today. I've watched this replay before, and what I noticed that you do is you go 1 barracks command center, and this, as described earlier, can be a little bit dangerous because of the amount of early builds that Protoss now have at their disposal. One thing that we've been seeing a lot of Terran players do as of recent is not really go 1 barracks command center, but go 1 barracks into a gas which shows potential aggression to the Protoss player, so he is a little bit scared, but the Terran players can go for a Reaper early on. Because they're a lot faster now, they're actually faster than the Stalker compared to Wings of Liberty now, so you're able to jump in and find out what exactly they're doing, check their units, Zealot, Stalker, Sentry, Zealot, Stalker, Mothership Core, check for their gases, and so on and so on. And that will give you a bit of a better read on what he's doing. Maybe something you want to consider. For this game, no, you don't do that, but it's just something I'll put out there for maybe in a couple of games' time, Cristian, that you want to maybe use a little bit more. But what I wanted to bring up now is that you decide to go for a Supply Depot Scout. Throughout all of the Terran tutorials I made in the past, I've always said do it in the early game. There's no reason not to, because the money that you save by sending that SCV back to work and sending one later on doesn't really play too much of a factor. But I do want to just bring up the point again of as you start to increase your skill, Cristian, you don't need to send out an SCV after Supply Depot against Protoss. It's not necessary, because the only things you're really going to be looking for is, are his gateways there? And how often do you encounter proxy gateways now? And you can even, look at your stats as an individual, which you've already said Protoss early game's one of the big red stats in your game. How often do you get proxy gateway now? Not very often. So how often do we really need to be sending that SCV out super early? Probably not that often. And if you send the SCV after building the barracks, you can still get in there before the Stalker comes out and before the Mothership Core comes out, And these are the two units that can prevent your SCV from seeing things. You're not scared of a Zealot or Probes, which is what the first SCV will actually run into. And there's nothing really, anything you see from the SCV early on won't be able to tell you anything, won't give you information you really, really need. Sure, you might see the double cast being built really early on, but what is that going to change from your build? Usually not a lot, so it's easier to send this SCV after the barracks to get critical information without losing money from this SCV that could have been mining a little bit more in your main base. But that's over-analyzing for this game. It's something that other Terran players maybe above your league will consider, and maybe yourself in the future. But for now, we'll just focus on what's going on here. So you've gone for one barracks command center, so I don't really need to follow your build. Everybody should know this build. We need to focus more on, what are you seeing inside his main base? First of all, the first question I ask myself, and I'm always asking myself questions when I play StarCraft, why is there a gateway and a pylon there? I don't really know, and I can't even answer it for you, so just skip over it. Yeah, that was fast. So just skip over it for sure. Jumping into his main base. Gas down, so single gas, is he going for double gas? Perfect. So this is the perfect example of what's happening in Heart of the Swarm at the moment. We see Protoss players taking double gas, which means they have a lot more gas to spend on aggressive things before they expand. If you go ahead in a game and see just a one gas build, it's very simple what they're going to do. It's either a simple 3 to 4 gate build or expansion. There's nothing else. But with them taking double gases, like I said, it could be Stargate, it could be Twilight Council, it could be Robo, it could be gateway units with more gas put into them. It could be just an expansion. So that's the main reason why Protoss players are doing this, because it just messes with your head because you don't know what's going on. I was actually going to bring up a point that you should absolutely go and hide this SCV and poke in again at another time. Hiding on the natural is probably not advised, because a lot of the time the Zealot, knowing that you've just left, is probably just going to check around his natural anyway, and likewise the Stalker. 8 times out of 10, you're going to be losing this SCV, maybe 9 times out of 10. So what I prefer to do on this map or in any other map, just hide it somewhere else, like up here by this third base, just north of the natural, and then come in again when the Nexus should be coming down. And to go on to that point, I have some notes. And I'll put these notes in the description below, and I'll also email them to you as well, Cristian. Timings for when you want to be bringing that SCV back in. This is a simple concept which everybody should be doing, bronze, silver, gold. Because you're not scouting for really big details. You're just looking, does he have another base or not? Because that makes a massive impact on your game, because that means bunkers have to come down in rapid fashion. You play super defensive and so on. And as long as you have 2 bases over 1, as long as you don't die, you will win. So if we just go into this game once again, the timing of a Nexus coming down off... Okay, so off 1 gas, it's usually around 4 minutes 40 seconds. If it's with double gas, it pushes it further a little bit, and it's usually around 5 minutes. So this SCV, absolutely go and hide until about the 4-minute 30 mark, in my opinion, up here. And that's exactly 55 seconds or 54 seconds away from now. And as soon as that time comes, then send the SCV in and see what you can see. Because the reason why you hide it and come in at that point, not only to get the scout of the Nexus, is because he should be, or most Protoss players should be, sending a Zealot, Stalker, Mothership Core every game over to you here. Because if you don't have a bunker, it's an easy win. So for you, knowing that information, you should always come in around that point because their units aren't going to be here. You can see if the Nexus is there, you won't get denied, and maybe you can even get into the main base. And that's something that I 100% recommend you do from here on out. Every time. Alright, so going back over to your build a little bit. You've got one barracks command center. You obviously need another supply depot any second now. But your main focus, the next structure after the supply depot, is always going to be, which the supply depot was a little bit late there, is always going to be a bunker. And you can even go down and build the bunker now. Because as mentioned earlier on, this is something you don't get in this game, Cristian, but it's something I do recommend. Because if they do come over with a Zealot, a Mothership Core is very, very likely from double gas. Because it takes 100 gas to build a Mothership Core, it's very likely to come across. So if you have a bunker here, you don't need to worry about losing your front door. And I don't know how many games you actually have lost like that, but maybe some other Terran players have, and they're probably saying, I always get my bunker. I can't believe he hasn't. And that's what I said when I was watching this game. 300 minerals in the bank, no bunker is almost death to a lot of, you know, higher, not even higher level, your level and above league level Protoss players. And you should be getting it before you add on the extra barracks, before you add on the refineries, which you're going for because you know this build. And it's definitely something, another thing that I recommend you do to improve your game. So coming up to that point we just talked about, which is 4 minutes 40, right? This is when a Nexus should be coming down if there was a single gas. And this is when it should be coming down 4 minutes 50 when there's double gases. And I want you to be, you know, very, very lenient on that timing. Because you're at a level in Silver League where that may not necessarily be true. You know, it give or take a little bit. You know, give it a little bit more and take, because they could be just... Silver League don't really know exactly what they're doing. And whenever I was playing in the Bronze League, Silver League, Gold League, and I was thinking my usual thought process like now, I always give them just a little bit of extra room. And even if it come down at 5 minutes, maybe 5:10, maybe 5:15, as long as it was there, I didn't care. As long as I knew that they were playing off 2 bases, I went, whew, okay. Playing off 2 bases, not a 1 base all in. And that's what you should be doing. So if we jump in this game again here, is it coming up now? This is a little bit dangerous. And I'd already be like, you know, something's not quite right. But we'll give him the benefit of the doubt for now. And then when you come in and you see another gateway coming down, as soon as you see that, without the Nexus being down, absolutely it means aggression. No doubt in my mind now. And if I was playing in your shoes, my first bunker would already be down, and I'd be building a second and a third one. Absolutely. And what you can do, because you will lose your SCV, of course, to the Stalker, you're not too sure what exactly the aggression is. This very well could be 1 gate, Stargate, and now he's just thrown 2 gateways, he's going for a Void Ray all in. It could be Twilight Council, he's going for DTs off 1 base. Could be Blink off 1 base. Don't know what it is at all. But you know it's not good for you because there's no natural down. So, what I would do at this point of the game, Cristian, is use a scan right now. It would be perfect. Because as mentioned, you've already got 2 command centers up. You're already going to be producing 2x2 SCVs. He's only going to be building 1 probe at a time. You're ahead economically. You do not need to worry about mules anymore as much. You don't want to just throw them all away, but you can definitely lend a scan here. And if you scan at this point, and this would be the move that I made, and I'd scan it right here, because you've already seen the front of his base, you've seen up to here, right? So if we cover that, so you've seen up to here, and look at the bottom right of that green box. Right, I'm going to click there, hold on. Alright, and I want to just, okay, that didn't really work. Alright, so it's basically like this. You want to be scanning around this. You want to get the pylon radius is like this, or maybe more like that. Okay, the pylon radius is like this. So you want to be scanning around, bam, here, because that will reveal north of this pylon. It will also reveal south down here, and that would give you perfect information. It'll scan something like that, and it would reveal, boom, 2 extra gateways. And that's what I would have done, and I would have gone, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 gateways. And then for me, I'd say with 4 gateways coming down, that's probably gas that, is probably being wasted, because I doubt he's got a Robo or a Twilight at this point. But I'd still be throwing down bunker, bunker, bunker. And from there on out, for me, I'd be feeling quite confident in my game. You not having a bunker down at all is dangerous, for sure. Another thing I would be doing here, Cristian, is this SCV, I would send it out anyway. Because you are in Silver League, they may go 4 gateway expand. I don't know. Mind games, they don't know how to play properly. You can't really tell, can you? And you want to know if they're expanding. And what's a little bit cheaper than spending another scan? Because if he does, expand again, then you don't really want to be throwing away mules. You want to try and get a good economic advantage. So I'd send out this SCV here, and I'd go around north, up this way. And I'd send it all the way around, and I'd shift-click this pathway, look at the minimap, and I'd go all the way around, and I'd come up there, and I'd come up to that base where we were before, and I'd go in again. And then do you see, and this would be like 6:30 or something. It'll take like a minute to get across there. And then do you see anything? Yes or no? If no, build even more bunkers and just defend for your life. If yes, okay, calm down a little bit and continue with your game plan. And these are really, really big important points. If you're scared, let's for example say you didn't scan here, Cristian, and that you just threw down the bunker, which you're doing. You in this game are very much in the dark. I'm obviously playing from what I would have scanned, but let's play from what you've seen now. A typical response from this as well, on addition of just a single bunker, would probably be the engineering bay. Because like I said, from this point, I'm not too sure whether it would be Blink, DTs, or Stargate. The engineering bay is very good against all 3. Because if you do that, with the engineering bay down, probably now, to be honest, like 5:45, 5:50, 6 minutes is great. The fastest DT rush from one base is like 6 minutes 30 or something. I'm not sure on exact numbers, but it's around that time. Give or take with a Silver League player, could be 7 minutes and higher. So Engineering Bay can come down now, and you could build a single turret inside your mineral line to prevent oracles, a single turret on your natural, or probably a single turret here, and then you'd be good. Or maybe a single turret behind your bunker and Marines back here, or something like that. Just set up a defense for what you think could come from all the potential openings that he could go for. DTs, oracles, void rays, proxy immortal, gateway timings, blink play, all of those builds. That's how I would approach this. One bunker for you is clearly not enough, and I'd absolutely punish the Stalker if you can. Great. Now that's a good win for you. But still, because of seeing this extra gateway, I'd still be throwing down additional bunkers. And this was, to be honest, your main downfall in this game here, Cristian. I don't think you understood and read the game that well, because you didn't build additional bunkers. And one bunker's never going to cut it, unfortunately. You had a massive gift here of seeing the gateway. You've scanned and seen an army here, moving out, and no expansion. If you don't build bunkers now, then I'm not too sure what's going on through your mind, unless you think he's proxied an expansion. That could be possible, but imagine if he had done that and you sent your SCV around from this location to here, look on the minimap, to here, to here, to here, to here. He's not going to expand to the middle, so you would have seen it anyway. So that's another advantage of sending out that SCV, but he's definitely coming for a one-base attack now, and I don't think you read it too well. I'm not too sure what you expected to be coming from this, but this leads to your downfall, unfortunately, here. And, if we look at his view and production tab now, you've got all your stuff coming. He's got his, one base 4-gate robo thing with an immortal coming at you, and you just simply die. There's no way you can hold this off with the single bunker. You need to be pulling SCVs and so on and so on. It hit right before stim, and the game is over from this point. So let's now go ahead and conclude this game and what you should have done better, because I've put a lot of points across this video so far, but let's just go to that 5-minute mark, because this is where I think the biggest things should have come in. For example, bunker should have come down here instead of these, just to deal with the early potential Zealot, Stalker, Mothership Core pressure. Scouts here, let's say if it did come from this high position, if it had come down to this location, you would have been able to go in and scout. And upon seeing this now, first things first, without that bunker be down, now throw down 3 bunkers. Send out another SCV or scan because you want follow-up scouting information. Yes, you've got a little bit of scouting now, but you're not 100% sure what it is. And even you in this game weren't 100% sure. Scan in from the main base. You have energy. If you use this energy as you scout, unfortunately, you have another command center about to build an orbital where you have 50 energy very soon. Use that scan. Send out another SCV. Go around the long way. Look for his expansion and see if it's down there. Try and get in his base again. And all these things, scouting is very important in the lower leagues. All these things I've just talked about is scouting. And with all these different things, it will enable you to have a better early game. I promise you that. Even things like building a supply depot here, because what happens if a warp prism had came in from this direction and started warping in units? That's another all-in that could have come. So all these small little things here will build up a more solid, stronger early game for you. And that's where I think that you'll email me or tweet to me or YouTube comment to me in a couple of weeks' time. Be like, I listened to your video, I did everything that you just mentioned, and now I no longer lose to early game Protoss builds. And if I do, he outplayed me, or something along those lines. So these are the biggest things that I think are going to improve you here, Cristian. And, you know, go through this video. There's a lot of information for a Silver League player here, but it's all within the first 5 minutes of the game, really. So it's a lot of information compacted for the first 5 minutes of the game. And the reason why it may seem like a lot, because I went through everything very thorough for you. But the main goal for you, scout. Scout, 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 scout. Look for that natural nexus. If it's not there, do something about it. See what's in his main base. Then start to get down, you know, tools like bunkers, tools like the engineering bay and turrets, and just go along your way. And make sure you play safer than usual. There's no such thing in the lower games where you're playing overly safe. 3 bunkers is fine. 3 turrets is fine. As long as you have more command centers than he does, it is fine. Maybe once you start to, once you defend everything, and then you start to come into Gold League, maybe, which I think may happen. You go into Gold League and you're like, whoa, you know, I'm spending way too much on defense, and nobody is doing these early attacks to me. And that's the point where you only build 1 bunker. That's the point where you maybe skip the turrets, and then start to build up a stronger Terran play from a different angle. Alright, Cristian, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and thank you for sending your email and replay, and thank you because everyone else gets to experience the problems that you're going through, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of StarCraft 2 players at your level with your problems that are very thankful for this video as well. So thank you, Cristian, and thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe to my channel. It's a button just below this video, and you can get more awesome content coming your way. So guys, signing off.